Chapter 10. The Dialogue. Who am I talking to? I open my eyes and I'm sitting in the middle of a dark and small box of a room with bare walls and no windows. No windows, yet I can still see. A void with absolutely nothing present except for me, the chair I'm on, and the door directly in front of me. A sterile space with no odors lingering in the air that my nostrils can pick up. Can't smell anything. Is my mind still playing tricks on me? Is it just another dream of mine? Are my eyes actually open? Unsure, I lift my fingertips to my face and touch my eyelids. Wait, my right arm moves? With an index finger and a thumb of each correspondent hand, I part the fleshy lids that lay heavy, only to view the same room, nothing I've missed. I look up and see a ceiling fan, slowly spinning around, with the dying light emanating from the bulb, barely casting anything, enough to just illuminate the fan itself. I gather all my imaginary strength, get off the chair and stumble forth, 1 foot at a time, towards the door. It feels like eternity for me to cross this tiny room, reach for the handle, twist it, afraid of what I might find on the other side, but with nothing to lose at present. The door moves. The corridor, barely lit by a singular bulb, doors and nothing else, aligning the bare walls. I move down a bit and decide to try one of the doors. Open, the same side, a chair in the middle and a ceiling fan, barely managing to make its rounds. A maze, about ready to give up, sob in the corner with my chin on my knees. But I continue, opening doors, visiting rooms, it's all the same, until an innate feeling starts to take over. It's drawing me, leading me to a door on the opposite end of this hollow hallway. I stand in front of it for a good minute before, with my newly cured right hand, I twist the knob and swing it open. What? Ronnie? Here? Now? How? She glances in my direction with a detached look, empty eyes peering through me rather than looking at me. It's okay, Carlo. It's all over now. You handed us the keys. I hear strange, unfamiliar sounds coming out of her mouth, lips twitching and contorting, producing unusual rapt sonics, but somehow I still understand every word she says, if you could call them that. Ronnie, what the fuck is going on here? I was on the bridge. I'm losing my mind. Explain. Think it's time to give up the pretend act. You're well aware I'm not your twin sister by now. You've never had one. You're an only child, Carlo. I don't understand. To help you out here, I can confirm one thing. You're not crazy or clinically insane, whatever your kind calls it. What do you mean by my kind? What is wrong with you? Oh, Carlo, the apex predator kind, yet so stupid and gullible at times, the humans. I have nothing to say in response. My jaw is on the floor. No hard feelings, brother. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Whatever phrase you'd prefer to hear to make yourself feel better. Intelligent species battling it out to take control over anything they can put their limbs on. Who the fuck are you? I shout angrily while realizing we've somehow switched places. I'm sitting in the chair now and she's standing over me. I am Ronnie, in a sense. I took upon this name as a joke, a pun for your human mind. It means a queen in many of your people's languages. Thought you were smart enough to catch on to it by now. And in fact, I'm a queen, a matriarch of our small predator colony of ants. What? What ants? Why can't I move? What ants have to do with me? Oh, Carlo, still acting so silly, like a little child who got his favorite toy taken away from him. I've decided to take on the role of your sister to appear more familiar and to gain your trust more easily, lead you on a journey you won't be able to return from, in the direction where we needed you to go, to the place where we want you to be. But how? We are an intelligent and advanced small predator colony I'm a queen of, as I've mentioned already. And don't bother asking me if all of the ants are the same way. It's only us, one supreme subdivision of insectum species. It's the same story with you humans. The chimps are still out there too, aren't they? Running around, throwing feces at each other, tearing each other's faces off. But when you think about it from those angles, I guess you're not that different from them actually. But how did you get into my body in the first place? The spark that you have a strong affinity for, we didn't start taking you there out of the blue. You had been known to frequent it on your own. And one day, when you were on the hiking trail, a sudden sensation of vertigo got a hold of you, and spontaneously you fainted, unannounced, at random, falling over into the bushes. Like the mannequin, remember? Lucky for us, our anthill was close by, and we took an opportunity, like any intelligent species would. While you were passed out, we slowly marched out of the anthill and straight into your ear. At our own slow pace, we crawled through your ear canal, past the eardrum that had retracted from the sudden fall, decompression of the cabin, along the cochlear nerve, straight into your head space, deep into your brain matter, claiming it as our new headquarters. You were out cold for quite some time, and voila, we became one, a derogatory term parasite you would use to describe our existence. In size, we are far smaller than regular ants, which permitted us to set off on this odyssey. Yet it's peculiar how we possess such big brains despite our size. Guess it's true what some humans say. It's not about the size of the boat, but the motion of the ocean. You had to pop your ears when you came to it, to put your eardrum back in place, to seal our entrance, oblivious to what had happened. No way. I don't remember any of it. Only memories I can pull from are the ones that involve you in that park. But I do recall a short period of time when my ear felt odd for a few days, like the water stuck inside of it. When you get back ashore after some diving, we started working immediately, diligently, rewiring your neurons and nerve endings. At first, your immune system didn't want to accept us, but we never gave up, adapting and implementing new ways to make our claim on your body. Surprisingly, a brain fits in our tiniest of bodies, and it has as many, if not more, neurons in it than a human one, which never works at its full potential anyway, while the colony operates as the collective brain, which would be superior to any human individual. Makes you really think about souls and religions. It was the beginning of the lengthy process, the long game, to rewrite your memories and ultimately identity, to submit you fully to our rule. What are you talking about? How could I ever believe you or accept this Ronnie character? You have to ask yourself that. Nonetheless, it took my colony some time to work our magic. We've slowly discovered that it was easier to affect a human's mind when it was in a rest and sleep state, when all the potential guards were down and no defenses were there to combat us. We started working on you during the nights, when you were asleep, seeing all those visceral dreams that were forcibly induced by us. And the more we worked, the more we had control over your brain, being able to cause sensory and visual hallucinations, partially rewriting your memories. That's when I first arrived on the scene, as an image of your twin sister Ronnie, causing even more disruption in your psyche. Your system was also very vulnerable every time you went to that park after that vertigo incident. That's when we started spending our family time. But how come? When I went to the hospital to get my head checked, they assured me everything was fine. How did you go undetected? Oh, those silly little doctors. The reason why MRI didn't detect us is because of our coding, which blocks any magnetic field activity or radio wave signals, exactly what MRI machines use, like a device blocking cell service, creating a blind spot. Like tiny stealth jets, we flew under the radar, untraceable, right under their noses. It's our natural defense mechanism to fight off predators that are desperate to locate us. That's why your smarty pants medics came up short, couldn't see anything wrong inside your head, assuring you that everything was normal. What were you doing all that for? Relax, Carlo. Or would you prefer if I called you Curls, one of your childhood nicknames we've discovered by digging through your memory? Every little detail helped us with the taking over your mind mission, gaining full control. As I said before, and you weren't paying attention while throwing a temper tantrum, dreams were the conditioning to rewrite the host's identity. And guess who the host is? Twin brother. The way you talk to me, it's very human. It doesn't feel robotic, But why, Carlo? Why should we act robotic? We are creatures of this planet, after all, too. Just like humans, a best attribute is adaptability. So we've adapted from observing and sort of living through the human experience, along with you, pal. And at the end of the day, I might have picked up some mannerisms. The language and speech itself is not something insects are privy to in the first place. So it all came naturally. Now that I think about it, through all my dreams in the span of one night, it will always go from pure survival, fighting for my life, trying to make it, to an appearance of a seductress love interest that I'm chasing and falling deeply in love with, forgetting everything else, my own safety and self-preservation sacrificed in the process. And if I were to step back and observe this dream real, lift it up to a proper light, it would seem as if my defense mechanisms are fighting back at first, my subconscious trying to defend my honor until we lose the battle to temptation and succumb to the strong feelings and desires, becoming indifferent towards everything else, the now apparent long-term plan working against me from behind the scenes. Bingo, guilty as charged. Besides playing your twin sister, I took on the role of your love interest as well. Multifaceted talent, if I may say. Twisted human mind. The heightened emotions were used to completely break your balance, to derail your vision and perception from seeing clearly, to erase the status quo of your body and mind, to offset the host's survival instinct. Let the guard down and let the virus in. You opened the door for us and technically invited us in, as a gracious host would, and we were just kind enough to accept. What about all those talks we had when we went on our hikes? Was that reality or another dream? Was I just talking to myself like a lunatic all that time? Whichever you prefer, Carlo, whatever option will help you sleep soundly at night. She is just fucking with me at this point. And by the way, at this point, since we're deep into your mind, we can hear your every thought, and it's no way to talk to your sibling like that. What's the big plan behind all of this? What's your goal? What are you doing this to me for? To you? Oh, silly. You didn't get it yet? You're not that special. It just so happened historically. You're nothing but a vessel. And we're doing it just because we can. Finders keepers. Or one man's trash, another ant's treasure. You made me say it. You were unlucky enough to pass out in front of us, and we were lucky enough to have a host give itself up and practically welcome us in. It all happened at random. We don't possess knowledge of our origin either. Unsure why we have this superior intellect, but that would not stop us from pursuing what we are made for, what we are well capable of. There's no grand plan behind our operation. My colony is skilled and competent enough to do it, and so we did it. Call it evolution, natural selection, survival of the fittest, plenty of terms to choose from, which at this point our species is due for a new name. We deserve it. Doesn't make sense to keep calling ourselves ants. I have a few ideas in mind, like ontos or onto. No, perhaps insectoid or antoroid. Still not good. Maybe antimorph? I don't know. We could workshop it together. We've got plenty of time. You can help me coin the new term. Our relationship with you is rather symbiotic. We need to keep you alive and coexist through this process of assimilation. Oh, and that whatever thing you feel guilty about, what you did as a kid with insects, there's no retribution here. It's not some vengeance plan, but trust me, when I was a kid, my friends and I spent the majority of our summer days running around the park, barefoot and muddy, close to where we used to live. My mom would always reprimand me for having dirt all over my face when I came back home. It wasn't much of a park if you think about it. There were only a few trees and a kid's playground to account for. One random day, we encountered a huge, white sausage-looking thing on the ground. It looked imposing and creepy. It was a beetle larva, more commonly known as a white grub. But to us as kids, it was a despicable creature with an enormous, slug-like white body and protruding, pulsating blue veins. Deeming it as something foul, it was only one fitting course of action for us, which was to exterminate that evil. We picked up a random brick and started scaredly throwing it at that thing. I wonder if that was the inadvertent start to my insect cruelty career, because later on, one of my pals and I proceeded to do our little quote-unquote experiments on grasshoppers. We would run around the park trying to catch them in the grass with our hands. For some inexplicable reason, we would always rip off their rear part, the abdomen, on the grasshopper, which would make it produce different colored paste, yellow or green or brown. I guess as a defense mechanism, excreting their digestive juices to turn the predators away. Cruel little devils some children are. I don't know exactly what we were trying to accomplish with those experiments, but I don't think we actually did put much thought behind it, doing it for the fun of it, doing it for no reason at all. Years later, when I was in my late teens, another summer, there was some sort of influx of the locusts in our area, a swarm of them flying in and occupying the city. It was no hiding from them. They were everywhere. But only a week later, after the scourge invasion, they were all dead, sizable locust corpses scattered around town, decaying and decomposing in the heat of the sun. This phenomenon seemed almost biblical to me, because when they first came, I thought back on my grasshopper butchering days, thinking this is it, that's the payback coming my way. I was still carrying that shame inside me. Guess it never goes away. Even to this day, I still felt bad for doing that. When the glimpses of that past come back to me, the noteworthy shame surfaces along with it. I'm of the pacifistic mindset that I wouldn't hurt a beetle nowadays. Literally, if I were to find one in the apartment, a tiny spider for instance, I just let it be or help it travel outside. When I think back on it, immense guilt takes over me for killing those poor, small, defenseless creatures. But look at what position I ended up in myself. I'm well aware of this guilt you're lugging around. We absolutely don't care about that. I can assure you, it didn't factor into our decision. Selecting you as a host was pure chance. For us, it's easier to navigate this big world in a human body, as opposed to crawling around as a tiny ant. Far more things we could accomplish this way. Ultimately, we could use you to take over other hosts, to expand our population, to proliferate. The easiest way would be probably through intercourse. When the body is in an ecstatic state, unaware of potential danger, as all the security is out to lunch, blinded by the pleasure of the climax. To have our ant ambassadors travel directly from body to body, to establish a branch office, to claim other humans, convert them, and welcome them into our family, turn the country or the whole earth into one giant colony. Ants are hard and dedicated workers, after all. We don't try to survive. No, dear, we're overachievers. We aim to thrive. But who knows? Time will tell. No hard feelings, though. I couldn't take it any longer. All of this nonsense Ronnie was spewing. I got up and went for the door I had entered through, back to the eternal hallway I was stumbling down. More of the same. Identical doors on each side, perfectly placed at the same distance away from each other. I wanted to run, to escape, but there were just doors everywhere. My body wasn't mine anymore. The virus had submitted me fully, and I was on the brink of tapping out. I was desperate. I was disappearing. I decided to open the first door right next to me. I pulled on the handle.
Dream Parade.